tour, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
7 minutes after 8. How are you doing? Welcome to the third hour of the Situation Room. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. Have you downloaded the Loop app? If you download the Loop app, then you will get into the Loop lifestyle, because this is where you need to be. Peace of mind. Why?
It's a lifestyle that you want to, because that means that you don't have to think 1,000 times for the 1,000 things that you need to do. All of those things can be in one place, and you can keep it moving in the Loop. You need to make payments, it's in the Loop. You want to pay your utility bills, the Loop. You want to make sure that your transactions are up to date, you can do that on the Loop. Get your standing order set up, pay your bills, move money from bank to wallet and back to bank. You can make sure that you can get your transactions done. You can get overdrafts applied for, you can get loans applied for and actually disbursed on Loop. You can make sure that you have your payments up to date. Why would you want to do so many different things in so many different places when you can do everything in one place with Loop?
Yeah. So go to Play Store, App Store, please download Loop.
I have to push that though.
Yes.
Because download the app and begin to experience this lifestyle that is Loop. Today, if you do that through the day, then hook up with Quatch on the Spice Drive from 3 to 7 p.m. and he could actually award you 5,000 bob. You loop it and you win.
Imagine.
Yep.
Just like that. And you already have 5K to deposit into that Loop account.
Yes.
Immediately like that. All right. Our next guest is in the studio. Ambassador Michael Lopton is the Israeli ambassador to Kenya. He's been here before. He's back. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Okay. Reasonably okay.
Given the circumstances.
Given the circumstances, exactly.
Karibu sana. You know, Ambassador, you are one person now who is I'm going to be unbiased on this. So I want you to help me go through an exercise. That's your phone. You have a Safaricom line. Please pick your phone and take people through what I'm going to say. All right? So dial star 544 hash on your phone. It's not going to explode, I promise.
Again?
Star 544 hash.
444.
Star 544 hash.
What the first?
Star
Star. Okay.
5 4.
Star like the
I
Star
thought I
of
should
David.
get my
Your glasses?
my glasses now. 444
hash.
hash.
Okay, what does it mean?
Dial?
Yeah, dial. Brings various options. What's option number 4?
4 SMS deals. No, minutes.
Star 544 hash, right? Which one says go monthly?
Go monthly. Go monthly. Where is it?
I think you may have dialed the wrong
Michael,
star.
did you do star 544?
Oh, yeah. I should pick up my glasses, I told you.
I think you do.
You need to.
Your glasses.
You need to. Star 544 hash, right?
Voila.
Yeah.
Voila.
Number 4.
Number 4, go monthly.
Number 4, go monthly.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Send.
do
Yes.
4, reply with 4.
Okay.
Then it brings number 1 all in one, right?
Number 1, all in one.
Yes, go there.
Go there. Okay, send.
It brings various options.
Yeah.
Option 0, 500 equals 2 GB
giga.
plus 100 minutes plus 500 SMS.
Yes.
Option 2 is
Option 2.
option 1, rather.
Option 1 is 1,005 giga, 400 minutes, and 1,000 SMS.
Yes, and go on and so forth. Now this is the package by Safaricom. Safaricom has come up with an all-in-one package. Why? You see, when you do, like, say, option 0, 500 shillings, for 500 bob for a month, you get 2 GB of data, 100 minutes
That's
of call
nice,
time.
$2.
Yep.
3.
It's about $3. 500 SMSs for 30 days. And if you go on and
What
so
do I
on
get
and so
from
forth.
Safaricom from this for this promotion?
Yeah, you get to be here. You get to be here with us. So I asked you to do that because, if I told Ndu, people would say, Ndu, how do we know that they're not playing this game? You see, you have walked through it and you have basically seen it's possible.
So I should not tell them that we rehearsed it before.
No, don't tell them that.
I will.
Okay. Yeah, just
Dial star 544 hash on your Safaricom line and then go monthly and select the all-in-one option. Select an option that works for you. Why? You want to make sure that you are able to call, to browse, to send a message, and to use WhatsApp throughout a month. And that's because this one, once you pay once, you have this package that has all these things together. You're sorted. You know what has been happening is that people buy airtime separately, you buy data separately, and that data also you use it on WhatsApp. So when one of them runs out, then you have to look for money to start topping up. Safaricom looked at the trends and so actually people are ending up spending a lot more in a month.
Does it go together with my laptop?
Yes.
yes.
It does.
You do that.
Nice.
In fact, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm hotspotting. You hotspot all the
Yeah,
time.
we learned this word this week.
Yes. Karibu sana, Ambassador.
Thanks.
Right? City sends his greetings. He's away. He's taken some days off. But he sends his greeting and says, tell
I
Ambassador
hope he enjoys his.
We hope
leave.
so too. You never know with City. We always keep telling, just this time relax. This time take a break. This time make sure that it's leave for leave. Right? So
I hope he took the leave in Israel to relax.
he'll tell us.
You never know. Again, you never know with City. It's
He will
possible.
tell us. The proverbs for this week are from Libya. And the proverb for today, listen and tell us your interpretation of it. In the house of a man who has been hanged, don't talk of rope. In the house of a man who has been hanged, don't talk of rope.
Okay.
What do you think the proverb is saying? What do you think is the interpretation of this proverb?
The implication?
Interpretation.
Interpretation. Don't invite someone in a hunger strike area to eat. To eat in a steak. I mean, invite him to eat, but not in a luxury restaurant. Or don't tell him about your last meal, previous meal.
Don't gloat. Don't boast. Somebody who's hungry and then you start telling him, when I was having this juicy steak last night.
Yeah.
Be sensitive. Right. So,
Empathic.
Yes.
empathetic. That's true. Now, the Israel-Gaza Strip conflict is almost getting to 1 year now. Since the attack by the Hamas militants into Israel that left more than 1,000 people dead, that left destruction, people injured, maimed, and they took away people and they went with them. This has been going on for a long time. And even the world has had a conversation. The UN General Assembly took a vote the other day saying, please, Israel, it's about time that you stopped and halted this aggression. What exactly has been going on in Israel from the Israeli perspective?
I think what's going on, it's not only the Israeli perspective, it's a very objective perspective many see. Some don't want to admit what they see. That's politics. So, as you said very accurately, on October the 7th last year, with no provocation, Hamas terrorists invaded Israel. Now, to all those who don't know, and especially those who don't want to admit, especially Palestinian Authority officials, we were not in Gaza from 2005 at all, but from 1994, we are not in the Gaza main cities, Khan Yunis, Gaza, all the names that come to the to the headlines in the last year. So we are out of Gaza for almost 20 years, 19 years, but that was not an issue or a consideration for the Hamas, because the target is not, they tell you about Israeli occupation, but there was no occupation. They didn't even let the Palestinian Authority in Gaza. So I heard the Palestinian ambassador here a couple of weeks ago. When was the last time he visited Gaza? His bosses were thrown out from the roofs in 2006. So that's not the issue. That's not the issue in Lebanon. We withdrew from Lebanon to the international border recognized by the UN in 2000. So the issue is not where we are beyond our borders. The issue for all these terrorists, Iran-sponsored, is the very existence of Israel. They've been saying it, but we chose not to hear it.
Okay. So October 7th happened, and then the Israeli government decided to respond. And the response, as many have said, has been heavy-handed. There's been destruction. As you heard the ambassador of Palestine here last week, and he talked about the destruction and the amount of destruction that has happened in the Gaza Strip in terms of infrastructure destroyed, homes demolished, water infrastructure, power infrastructure, sanitation infrastructure, even hospitals have been bombed, universities and schools.
Hospitals were not bombed. Hospitals were not bombed. We still supply today water to the Gaza Strip. But it's upside down, the whole argument, if you don't mind, because that could have been stopped before we got into Gaza. On October the 8th, they could have said, we give you all the hostages that we took, give us this amount, we claim this amount of terrorist murderers that are in Israeli jails. They didn't do it on October the 8th, they didn't do it on December the 8th, they didn't do it in the last year, right? So it's in their hands. They could have stopped it. They can stop it in any given minute. The only thing that we see in the last few months is that an extension, this is what the Palestinian delegate forgot to say, to the West Bank. It's not the Palestinian Authority, it's not the Fatah people that are try to kill us in the West Bank. It's the Hamas that tried to take over from the Palestinian Authority in Jenin.
But Ozzy, let me get this clear. You're saying that there is an opportunity for this to cease if certain things are done. What's that?
In this very minute.
That it would stop right now.
Right now.
If 1, 2, 3 things happen, what are those?
Release of the kidnapped people, live and dead, and the removal of the Hamas terrorist leadership from Gaza. These are the aims of the war. And another aim that was added in the last week by the Israeli cabinet to enable to get to a ceasefire in the north, to enable 80,000 Israelis that were evacuated a year ago from the north to go back to their homes. Very simple.
Okay. What is the agreement about who is supposed to be an administrative authority in Gaza? I think it's important for us to go back to that. Who is supposed to be administrating, or who has been agreed that should be an administrative authority in Gaza today?
There was no agreement because there's no such discussion. The only thing that there's a consensus about it in Israel, it's not us.
So then how can we say it's not Israel? How can you say remove people from Gaza in order for us to cease fire if there's no consensus that it is not Israel who's supposed to be there? How then do you have a say over who should be there?
Are you suggesting we should be governing Gaza?
No, I'm saying how do you say that should be one of the demands for ceasefire if there's no consensus about who should be in an administrative authority over Gaza?
We don't have to negotiate or to bring all the Palestinian parties together. They should agree. There are 2 million Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Not all of them are Hamas. Most of them are Hamas supporters, but I guess there are other local leaders, and there were in the past, and also we see it coming up today slowly, too slow, but it's coming. Local leaders in Gaza that can take the place of the terrorists, can replace them. supported by the Palestinian Authority. Unfortunately, the first thing that the Palestinian Authority did is to embrace Hamas. Instead, if I'm a political representative or any diplomatic representative of the Palestinian Authority, on October the 7th, I will say, if you don't want this to happen in the West Bank, let's sit and strike a deal today. But no.
When did the Palestinian Authority embrace Hamas?
When?
Yes.
Oh, in so many instances.
Name one.
On October the 7th, they were celebrating on the streets of Ramallah.
As the Palestinian Authority?
Nothing happens, it's not a very democratic entity.
I asked that because we put that to the ambassador last week, and we asked whether the Palestinian Authority, the government of Palestine, has any sort of support to Hamas.
Only half a year later.
And he said that the government of Palestine does not support Hamas. The government of Palestine has not supported what Hamas did on October the 7th last year. The government of Palestine does not support the continued holding of hostages, Israeli hostages by Hamas.
Yeah. Have you seen any official condemnation of Hamas by the Palestinian Authority? Ask him to show us one. None. What happened is half a year later, when they realized the price, the toll on the Palestinian population, they started backing off. But show me one condemnation by the Palestinian Authority of Hamas. Listen to what the Palestinian envoys say here. And he was trying, it was kind of, maybe sad, he was trying to move between we control the whole Palestinian community, both in Gaza and the West Bank, and at the same time, how did he put it? The non-obedient member of the family, with which he needs China, he said. He needs to bring China to bring them together. These disobedient members of the family kill his own people in the West Bank, not in Gaza, in the West Bank today, these days, because they try to take over. Yeah, and you forgot many other things. You were talking about attempts to a settlement. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give a big historical lecture. It's all documented. You can go back to the partition resolution, 1947. We accepted, and again, Israel accepted the partition resolution, Palestinian state, Jewish state. The Jewish state was without Jerusalem. Now, I'm talking to the people in Kenya. I don't need to tell you, the people of Kenya, what Jerusalem means to Jews, right? And Ben-Gurion, the founding father, the first prime minister, accepted the partition resolution without Jerusalem. Jerusalem was not the capital, it was Tel Aviv. So it was then in 47, and then through the different wars, and of course the culmination was in 2000, in July, in Camp David, when we offered initially 92% of the territory of the West Bank, then 95%, and 2008, 100%. But that was not good enough, because the issue is not this, it's the very existence of Israel. For them, it's difficult to swallow this thing called the Israeli state.
Does Israel, maybe I'll ask it a different way, does Israel recognize and acknowledge that the Palestinian Authority, the Palestinian administration, is the legitimate administration,
of course,
in Palestine?
Yeah.
Does it also acknowledge that that administration and the political wing of Hamas are competitors in the politics of Palestine?
There's no political wing of Hamas. There's Hamas. Of course, they are competitors. They're enemies, not competitors.
Okay. So then one cannot be supporting the other if they are in opposition of each other.
I don't see them. Egypt has been trying for many years to bring them together to one room. Always failed.
Okay. So then it would not be correct to say that the Palestinian administration is supporting Hamas.
No. The Palestinian Authority saw this as an opportunity to push forward its agenda. because it was once it was clear that we retaliate. Because, you know, as one of our previous prime ministers, Golda Meir, said once, the Palestinians don't miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. So they immediately jumped and embraced the attack and what followed. Of course, for political, they were trying, for reasons, they tried to be more delicate in the statements. What I'm saying is that if the Palestinian Authority would have come condemning Hamas, the leadership of the Hamas, that could have created an alternative for the Palestinians in Gaza. I'm not talking about the West Bank. The Palestinians in Gaza would have said, okay, there's an alternative. And then the ball would have rolled to our court, right? Okay, there's an agreement among the Palestinians. Now let's see what the Israelis say. But it's not the case.
You've stated this morning, and you've actually challenged, let the Palestinians show us one official statement condemning Hamas and the attack in Gaza. And what you're saying is, if there's nothing written, then we should take the inference here to be support. Then also, conversely, if there is nothing written, is there anything written by the Palestinian Authority supporting Hamas or praising the attack?
I can't quote. It's the general politics that the Palestinian Authority led. And it's a part of a bigger picture. The Palestinians, Iran, Turkey, which joined. So, and quite a few Arab countries, although many in the Arab world, like the Gulf states, stood against. So if you want to answer what I mean when I say condemnation, or at least a very clear statement, look at UAE. UAE came, and Bahrain as well, came during the first week with a very clear statement against that. So this is the way to go. It's not, the usual politics you try to say and then you say the opposite, like we saw here in your studio 2 weeks ago. We are against the Hamas, but we are with the Hamas. Trying to play. You have to be, with terrorism, you have to be straightforward, not trying to play with the words.
Let's take a break. The conversation continues shortly. 8:30. Our guest this morning is His Excellency Ambassador Michael Lotem, the Israeli ambassador to Kenya. We're getting into October soon. It will soon be October 7th. Since the Hamas militants invaded Israel, there has been some ongoing escalation of hostilities in our region. How many hostages are still being held, Ambassador?
101.
101.
Live and dead.
101.
Yes.
Live and dead. How many confirmed dead so far?
We don't know exactly, but more than 40.
Okay. So 101 hostages still being held. Removal of Hamas leadership is one of the conditions that the Israeli government has said. Remove the Hamas leadership and we can cease fire. Enable 80,000 Israelis to go back home. Those are being held up in the north. Let them return to their homes. These are the conditions for ceasefire. The United Nations has weighed in on this with a resolution on Wednesday. We'll be talking about that shortly. Keep it here.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to